Welcome to Duo Reads, where we decode deep ideas and break down big books one page at a time. Today, we're getting into a really foundational book, Eric Ries's The Lean Startup. It's just packed with insights, isn't it, for anyone trying to launch something new, whether you're like in a garage or even inside a huge company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, our goal today is really to unpack it, to figure out how we can learn faster, what actually works, and just as importantly, maybe more importantly, drop what doesn't. It's all about making innovation less, mysterious magic and more of a science, a process.
Right. So if you've ever looked at a new venture and thought, why did that fail, even with smart people and funding, or wonder how massive companies can sometimes act like nimble startups, this is definitely for you. Okay, so where should we start? What's the core problem this book tackles?
Well, it really starts by questioning the standard story of entrepreneurship. You know the one. It's all about grit, genius, working crazy hours.
Yeah.
Makes success sound like it's just about having the right stuff.
Yeah, the heroic narrative.
Exactly. But then, when things go wrong, which they often do, the blame gets placed on, lack of vision or bad timing. It kind of lets the process itself off the hook, doesn't it?
It really does. And it begs the question, why do so many startups fail when there's so much passion, so much effort poured in? The book points to two big pitfalls, right?
Yeah, two extremes. On one hand, you've got the obsession with the perfect business plan, trying to predict everything in a situation that's fundamentally unpredictable. Extreme uncertainty.
Right. Analysis paralysis in the face of chaos.
And then the other side is the just do it chaos, just throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something sticks.
Which also leads to a lot of wasted motion.
Yeah.
And burnout.
Huge amounts. Both paths often end up wasting tons of effort.
So it seems kind of weird to talk about management for something as wild as a startup. But Ries argues that's exactly what's needed. Entrepreneurship is management, just a different kind.
A new kind, yeah. And his definition is key here. A startup is a human institution designed to create new products and services under conditions of extreme uncertainty.
That's broad.
It is. And it means entrepreneurs are everywhere, not just the garage folks. It includes people inside big companies, the entrepreneurs, like that Intuit example.
Oh, yeah, the SnapTech story. That was fascinating. A team of 5, right?
Yep, 5 people, full salaries, benefits, working inside Intuit. Not exactly the ramen noodle stereotype.
Definitely not.
But they were absolutely entrepreneurs. They carved out this sort of island of freedom to experiment. They faced that same core uncertainty. Will anyone actually use this thing we're building? Will it work?
That really does shatter the typical image. Okay, so if entrepreneurs are everywhere and it is about management, how do we actually do it? What's the framework? The book lays out 5 principles.
Right. So the first 2 we've kind of covered. Entrepreneurs are everywhere, and entrepreneurship is management. The next one is huge. Validated learning. This is critical. Startups don't just exist to build stuff or even just make money initially. Their core purpose is to learn how to build a sustainable business. And that learning isn't guesswork. It's scientific. It happens through experiments, lots of them. Frequent experiments.
Testing your assumptions constantly.
Exactly. Your big leap of faith assumptions, prove them or disprove them quickly.
And this leads right into probably the most famous part, build, measure, learn.
The feedback loop. Absolutely. That's the heart of the whole thing.
You turn ideas into products, really basic versions sometimes.
The minimum viable product, the MVP.
Then you measure how real customers respond. Not what they say they'll do, but what they actually do.
Crucial difference.
And then you learn. You learn whether to stick with the plan or make a change.
A pivot. A structured course correction. Or maybe you persevere.
And the whole goal is to get through that loop as fast as possible. Speed is key.
Absolutely. Accelerate that learning. And the 5th principle holds it all together. Innovation accounting.
The boring stuff. That's actually vital.
Precisely. It's about how you measure progress in a startup context. Setting the right kind of milestones. Prioritizing work effectively. It's a different kind of accounting for this high uncertainty world, designed to avoid fooling yourself with vanity metrics.
Right, metrics that look good but don't actually tell you if you're learning or building something sustainable. Okay, let's make this real. Talk about build, measure, learn in action. Ries shares his own story with IMVU. That sounded painful.
Oh, it was. They had this brilliant strategy on paper for an instant messaging add-on. Interoperability, network effects, tapping into existing platforms. It seemed like a slam dunk.
Sounds logical.
Yeah, they spent months building the tech, getting it perfect, but then their MVP.
The minimum viable product.
Right, by their own admission, it was terrible. full of bugs. It could actually crash your computer. Yes, really.
Wow.
And they shipped it anyway, way before it felt ready. And get this, they charged money for it from day one.
That takes guts. Or maybe desperation. What happened? Did people complain?
Well, that's a kicker. Initially, crickets. Nothing. Nobody even downloaded it, let alone used it enough to find the bugs.
So their fear of, like, ruining their reputation was...
Totally unfounded. Because nobody was even getting far enough to see how bad it was.
That's a harsh lesson.
The harshest. The lesson of building something that nobody wants. Ries says that's the single biggest form of waste in a startup.
Man, all that effort. So how did they figure out why nobody wanted it?
They had to get out of the building. Literally, go
Wow.
talk to potential users. And they heard some pretty painful truths, like the teenager who wouldn't invite friends because she didn't know if it was cool yet.
Image is everything.
And more fundamentally, they learned customers didn't want an add-on for their existing IMs. They wanted a separate network, a place to meet new people, not just chat with friends they already knew.
So the entire core strategy.
Was wrong. Fundamentally flawed. That's validated learning. It's often about invalidating your core beliefs. Painful, but necessary.
I remember reading about the engineers' reactions, that feeling of throwing my work away. That must have been brutal.
Absolutely brutal. All that complex interoperability work, essentially wasted.
Right.
But it was crucial learning, and the book stresses this. A low-quality MVP isn't bad work. It's a learning tool.
Right.
Remember the IMVU avatars? They didn't walk smoothly at first. They just kind of teleported instantly.
Yeah.
The engineers wanted to fix it, make it realistic. But customers liked the teleporting. It was faster, got them where they wanted to go quicker.
Ha! That's brilliant. Customers don't care about the engineering effort, just the result.
Exactly. Does it
Yeah.
solve their problem? Often in ways you didn't anticipate.
This idea is really powerful. It makes me think of other examples, like Zappos.
Oh yeah, the shoe guys.
They didn't build a giant warehouse first, right? The founder just went to local shoe stores,
Took photos.
put them online, and if someone ordered, he'd go buy the shoes and ship them.
That was the MVP. Just testing the core assumption. Will people buy shoes online? Turns out, yes.
Or even government. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB.
Yeah, they started with just a simple website and a hotline.
Right, to figure out what financial problems people actually felt they had before designing huge programs, testing assumptions first.
And you can't forget Dropbox. Their MVP wasn't even a working product.
The video. Right.
Yeah, simple explainer video showing how it would work, filled with nerdy in-jokes. They couldn't easily build a prototype. The tech was complex, so they faked it.
And it worked.
Massively. Hundreds of thousands signed up for the waiting list. It validated their huge leap of faith.
Oh.
That file sync was a problem people didn't know they had until they saw the solution. Pure genius MVP.
Okay, so you're running these experiments, you're building MVPs, you're learning, but how do you track if you're actually making progress towards a sustainable business? Not just spinning your wheels, that's the innovation accounting part, yeah. Moving past the vanity metrics.
Exactly. Vanity metrics, things like total registered users or page views or downloads, they feel good. They go up and to the right, usually.
Looks great on a chart.
Looks great, but they often hide the truth. They don't tell you why things are happening or if your changes are having any real impact on the stuff that matters, like activation, retention, revenue per customer.
They don't show cause and effect.
Exactly. Actionable metrics do. They tie specific actions to specific outcomes.
Like the IMVU AdWords example, spending just $5 a day.
Yeah, seems tiny, but it was incredibly revealing. They can track daily how many people clicked the ad, signed up, and eventually became paying customers. And they saw, even after months of improving the product, that conversion rate to paying customer. Stuck at like 1%.
Oof. Frustrating, but clear.
Crystal clear feedback. It told them something fundamental about the product or the business model was still broken, no matter how much they tweak the features.
And that kind of clarity, even if it's bad news, leads you to that really tough crossroads, pivot or persevere.
The hardest decision. You've poured your heart into this path, but the data is screaming that a core hypothesis is wrong.
So a pivot isn't just giving up. It's a strategic shift, right? Keeping the vision, but changing the strategy to get there.
Precisely. It's a structured course change based on validated learning, not just randomly trying something else. It's disciplined.
The book used Vodafone as an example, the civic platform.
Right, the founder, David. He had some early traction, but the metrics, especially things like revenue per user, just weren't working towards a sustainable business.
So he had to pivot multiple times, actually.
Yeah, first it was like a social network for voters, then it became more of a social lobbying tool. He even changed who the customer was, from individual voters to big organizations. Each change was a new strategy.
A new hypothesis to test.
Exactly. And each pivot was driven by the innovation accounting metrics. He could see what was working, what wasn't, and adjust much faster.
He wasn't afraid to ditch parts of the product or strategy if the numbers said so. That takes courage.
It really does. But it prevents you from spending years going down the wrong path. Maximize learning, minimize wasted resources.
Okay, so we have the principles, the build, measure, learn loop, the metrics. How do you build an organization that can actually operate this way? Especially if it's a larger, more established company. It seems like a big cultural shift.
Oh, it's huge. It often requires changing deeply ingrained habits. One key is adopting small batches.
Like in manufacturing.
Exactly. Think about stuffing envelopes. If you sold all 100 letters first, then stuff them, then seal them, and only realize at the end they don't fit, you've wasted a ton of effort folding.
Right. Versus folding one, stuffing one, sealing one. You find the problem immediately.
Precisely. Building product features, running marketing campaigns, any initiative. Doing it in small, complete increments reveals problems way faster. Toyota's andon cord is the classic example. Anyone can stop the entire assembly line if they see a defect.
Seems counterintuitive. Stopping everything slows you down.
But it actually speeds things up overall, because they fix the root cause immediately, preventing mountains of rework later. It embeds quality and learning.
And this isn't just for cars. You mentioned SGW building X-ray prototypes in days.
Yeah, complex hardware. Concept to physical prototype in 3 days. Incredible speed through small batches.
Or School of One, the education initiative. Personalize learning playlists for kids.
Allows teachers to try new things in small batches, see student results quickly, and adapt. Much faster than waiting for annual curriculum reviews.
Okay, small batches make sense. What else?
The 5 whys. A simple but powerful technique for getting to the root cause of a problem.
You just keep asking why.
Basically, yeah. When something goes wrong, a server fails, a customer reports a major bug, you don't just fix the surface issue. You ask why it happened and why that happened, and so on, usually about 5 times.
Like the server failure example in the book.
Right. It wasn't just a technical glitch. Asking why led them down the path to discover the real cause was a manager who skipped a required training session because they didn't believe in it, leading to a procedural error.
Wow. So it gets you from technical symptoms to human or process failures.
Exactly. Which means you can put fixes in place, better training, clearer processes, whatever, that actually prevent the problem from happening again. It shifts blame from individuals to systems.
That feels much more constructive, like the QuickBooks team at Intuit, shifting from huge annual releases
to quarterly updates driven by constant customer feedback. They built the systems to enable that rapid learning and iteration.
Okay, one last big concept. Engines of growth. How does that fit in?
This helps you focus your efforts. Ries argues every sustainable business gets its growth primarily from one of 4 engines.
Okay, what are they?
There's word of mouth depends on delighting existing customers. There's viral, where usage itself spreads the product, like Hotmail adding a link. Then funded or paid growth using advertising, sales teams. And finally, sticky growth, high retention, low churn, like a subscription service or enterprise software.
And the point is, you need to know which engine powers your business.
Yes, because you optimize for that engine. If you have a sticky engine, your absolute focus needs to be on retention rate and minimizing churn. Pouring money into ads might be wasteful. If you have a viral engine, you obsess over the viral coefficient. Knowing your engine dictates your key metrics and priorities. Ruthless focus.
So wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway for listeners? The lean startup isn't just for tech bros in hoodies anymore.
Not at all. It's really a call for a more scientific, more empirical approach to innovation. Anywhere. Big companies, small companies, nonprofits, government.
It's a mindset shift, really.
It is. It's about rigorously testing your assumptions instead of just believing your own plan. Embracing that validated learning and having the guts to pivot when the evidence tells you to, even if it's hard.
It's about building a system to increase your odds of success, and maybe more importantly,
stopping the waste of people's time, their passion, their skills, building things that ultimately don't matter to anyone.
It reframes failure too, not as the end, but as data, as learning that gets you closer to what will work.
Absolutely. Each failure viewed correctly is fuel for the next iteration.
So it really makes you stop and think, what are those big leap of faith assumptions you're making right now in your job, in a side project, whatever it is? And maybe, just maybe, how could you design a really small, simple experiment, an MVP, even if it's just a conversation to start testing one of them, like today? Lots to chew on there. Thank you for joining us for this look at the lean startup. Until next time, keep learning, keep experimenting.
And keep challenging the status quo.